And we start being very concerned about the thoughts, the thinking. It's not only me. The entire world is talking about consciousness, where the and all person, the world, one country, but the entire humanity, the human beings in general, start being very concerned about our thoughts. Why? Because the acceleration of this lifestyle just brought us to be so overwhelmed with thoughts that we call worries, we call uh, anxiety, we call depression, we call they can turn into so much disturbance and so much damage in the top of the our species, and we still operate in the survival mode. It's like we have to kill a lion per day and we have to defend, and we don't need to defend our family from all the worries and threats anymore, but we defend our opinions, and we keep the same rage and the same energy. We keep being the same primitive being that we were before. And the the good news is that we don't need to live this way. We don't need to be fighting against each other because we had different opinions. We don't need to fight against each other because we believe in certain things the other one doesn't believe. It's not necessary. We are the top of the chain of our species. We don't need that. So why this? What has this to be with the thoughts? Everything, because the avalanche of information we have nowadays, and the avalanche of negative information, and all the rapes and uh, abortions, and all the heaviness that comes behind this, and the judgments, and racial attacks, and women that are attacked, and murders, and pain, and fear, and it's an avalanche turning us in a survival mode all the time, but there is no lion behind us. There is no bear attacking our family. We are just in the supermarket or driving. But this kind of reaction can takes over us, and everything starts with a thought. Oh, he cut me. Oh, this and that, and we have a series of bad words and gestures to just show how pissed off we are. The person just cut in front of you in their traffic. It's we all do that when we are lost or when we are late, but we take that as such an offense, and everything starts with a thought. This computer that I'm using now and you're using to watch me, or a phone, whatever device, was a thought first. But a knife and a gun was a thought first, too. So our thoughts take us to very constructive things and very destructive things, too. And we go like a little rat inside of the cage, following what is this script telling us to do, to feel, to be, to act upon. And we don't notice. That's the alarming thing. We don't notice how we are influenced and manipulated by these thoughts, or because we are absolutely unaware, or we even think that they are ours and we are generating them and we need to follow them. We don't. We don't. That's why meditation and other forms of breathing exercises. We started a couple of weeks ago doing some breathing exercise. Why? To distract us from the flow of thoughts that are unproductive, those thoughts that don't really construct anything in our lives, don't build anything, don't calm ourselves, don't prepare us for the day, don't relax us from whatever experience we had. They're just serving as fuel for more stress, anxiety, anger, and fear. So there is a moment in life that we need to make room for the good. Why? Because we all deserve. We all deserve to live in peace. We all deserve to be part of a loving community, giving and receiving the best of each person and the group as well. We all deserve to have a healthy relationships, loving relationships, romantic relationships. We all deserve to be respected and respect. And understanding that everything starts with a thought. Sometimes that thought about the telemarketing that didn't let you hung up, or that person that cut you in traffic, or some act of violence or disrespect that we are witness in a coffee shop or a supermarket or a post office or bank that just ruins our day and sometimes our weeks because we can't stop talking about that and thinking about that and let the rage just build up and we just get so passionate about and we don't realize we don't catch ourselves to make it go away. And the name of the series is Let It Go, but knowing that there is no place where these thoughts go. There is no such a thing of a go. There is not. So we we don't let anything go because there is nowhere to go. It stays. So what's the other option? Oh, I ignore. No, you don't. You think you do. You maybe believe you do, but you don't because it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. And I'll tell you something. We, since in a very early ages, we go through life as that happy, amazing, spontaneous, and uh, just unleashed little human being. And life starts happening around us, to us, toward us, or over there, over there. And we start perceiving life in a way that's very individual. You have 5 kids from the same mother and father in the same household, kind of raised kind of the same way, and each one has the different perception of one only fact. Like us watching a movie, we have an interpretation, and the other one has another interpretation. So we, as kids without language, we just had the experience of what we watch, what we hear, what we touch. It's just impressing on us experiences that we go in life interpreting in a way or the other, creating our way of being accepted, in being loved, so we just find if I do this, mommy gets happy. If I don't do that, dad gets happy. And grandma always gives me some kind of a reward when I do this or don't do that. And the teacher and my friends, they let me play with them if I am this kind of a being, if I behave this way, oh, I get a boyfriend. And we go in life just observing, feeling, not much intellectualizing, but we learn how to become distorted in a way that we are accepted and loved. What happens is that those ways we find, they turn into filters that we start seeing life, and we mold ourselves since, as I said, a very early age, and we keep molding ourselves to be and not to be, to behave and not to behave in a way or the other. And what surprises us is that we keep repeating that same pattern of feeling, behaving, and experiencing that we actually created when we are very young. Those are what we call belief systems. It's very individual. We have a belief system that then we create, I'm not worth it. Because every time that I am myself and I play and I am loud and I scream and I have somebody reprimanding me. So it's like, oh, I can't be this way. No good, right? So for me to be accepted, I have to be in a certain way. Oh, okay. So I had an experience with money. You have your first experience with money, and that experience just brought for you that, oh, oh, I'm not worthy, and oh, I'm not valuable because somebody said a no to you. And as a kid, you interpret in a way, or you felt in a way, or you perceive that in a very particular way, that you have now a way of seeing life through that filter. And you keep actually behaving in a way and kind of observing life around you that actually keep reinforcing that same answer to you. Oh, see, I'm not worth it. And then we go in relationships and work and jobs and there's like, and we just start collecting evidences. We provoke. We don't do this consciously, but we provoke situations that the world answers in a way that, see, I told you, I knew I was stupid. See, I raised my hand again and nobody saw. And it's because because now I have 1,800 people. That's why they didn't see your hand. It's not because you're stupid. Maybe Mrs. Smith, when you were in class, she would answer Mrs. said, why you're raising your hand? I know you don't know that. Or you say something that you are sure it's right, and Mrs. Smith, you're so stupid. Or how can you say that? Has no business with what we are talking here. And in that moment, you felt stupid. All the other kids laugh at you. And that is what you decided in that moment. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I will never talk in class anymore. I will never express my opinion anymore. I will never be who I am anymore. And then people just get a label that you're shy. But you're not shy when you're a little kid. Or people put a label on you, you are angry, you are always nervous, you are inadequate, you are this and that. Oh, you need medicine. Oh, you need treatment. Oh, you are so unbalanced. And people start judging you by really have a relationship all through filters. Imagine that each of glass has a color. So imagine that you are in an environment that each person has a different glass, and everybody seeing that same scene, that same object or scene with a different color. And what we call reality, though. Reality is through the lens I am seeing. So for me, it's pink. For Mary, is blue. For Joseph, is gray. For Marian, is uh, green. So we all are seeing the same things through that's what are our belief system, and they are created back there, or we borrow from the family and the community we live, or we have the ones that we create ourselves, and then we go in life living this way. It's like I have noise here, just a second. So and then we continue living life this way, and these belief systems are built in our mind. So once we start being aware of the thoughts we have, once we start being really aware, there is a thought here, and this thought is not really in sync with what I believe now, who I am right now, who I want to be in the world, who I'm choosing to be for my kids or for my family or for my teachers or for my coaches or for my friends or for my spouse. So whatever it is, so you just know that start just reflecting upon that your thoughts are dictating things for you to feel and to do, that actually you don't need to believe in that. You can start questioning, but in order to have this freedom, in order to have to start experiencing this freedom, you need to give some room. That's what I'm calling that little space in between the thoughts and you who you this human being that is in the top of the chain of the human nature. We are the top of the chain of Homo sapiens. We are the wise ones with behaviors that still justify the cave ones. So we need actually to upgrade our mind, upgrade our way to deal with our mind in in taking us to the direction of happiness, fun, joy, inner peace, peace of mind that we absolutely lost, filtering everything else that is not in sync with who you are and who you want to be, filtering all the information that comes to you, filtering all that, you start creating only from scratch the data that you really want in your mind, that you really want to be inside of you, to actually build the person, the community, the family, the world that you believe it's worth to live. So, to create this room in between our thoughts and who I am, all this script that is non-stop over and over and over in our head, and stop following that as the truth. We need to just stop for we gave here an exercise of 30 seconds. We've been doing 30 seconds, that you stop and breathe. That's only the what I ask you to do. We can do 30 seconds now. You just stop what are you doing, and you close your eyes or keep your eyes open. It's always better to close the eyes, and you start breathing, and turn your attention to your breath. I will be quiet in a second, okay? Let me just guide you how you get ready for that. You just quiet, I'll quiet soon. You just stop what are you doing, take all the distractions away, close your eyes, and breathe. And start paying attention on your breath. You inhale and try to really expand your chest, your ribs, and your belly. And when you exhale, you are expelling the air. You are shrinking. You are getting empty. And you inhale and you go making your chest, rib cage, and abdomen big as much as you can, very slowly. And you exhale. And I want to give you a few seconds to just be with your attention and focus on your breath. And just bringing your focus, your attention to your breathing, you kind of start disconnecting a bit from the demanding thoughts, the commanding coming from up there. And you start just distracting, taking your attention away from that and bring into your body. And the question I invite you always to do when you do this exercise is, if I can observe my thoughts and they are passing while I am breathing, and they can pass like clouds, who is the observer and who is thinking? If I can detach myself from this turbulence of thoughts, and I can find this calmness and tranquility being with my breath, knowing that the thoughts are still there, but I am not grabbing any of them and give my special attention. I'm just breathing. So you will have the experience of the thoughts have the life of their own. It's a script running. Even here, I am talking and you're listening. There are lots of thoughts in the background. We'll talk this in the next live. There are lots of thoughts going on, but I'm not paying attention of them. I am just focusing in you. And when I am breathing and I'm focusing in my breath, so whatever thoughts are trying to distract me or call my attention, I just don't give my attention and keep focusing my breath. So this experience by itself of start detaching you from your thoughts, you start giving this feeling of, well, yes, I can be calmer when I am not running with my thoughts. And this per se will be enough for you to start changing and shifting this mental world that has been making you as a slave, subservient, and then you start gaining new power, absolutely new power over yourself. This new power that guarantees you to be in charge of your feelings, choosing the thoughts that really bring you happiness, joy, calmness. And then you have a life that is more balanced because you chose so. So that's the idea of what I would like to talk to you today. My name is Katia Ferreira, And we've been doing this series of contemplation of what the mind does with us and what we do consequently to what we understand are the demands of the mind. So this work that we are starting doing this here is actually to free yourself, to free yourself from pain of the past and suffering and memories of fear or anger or unforgiveness or all that that disturbs and affects and actually sometimes demanding action towards that absolutely not constructive thought will start being diminished day by day because you start being more in charge of what you think, what you want, and what you do, and what you feel. So I wish you an amazing week. We are here every Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning, California time. And you can find us on YouTube and Facebook and practice this. Just think a little bit about this. And let's create a world around us that's worth to live. And let's create a joyful, happy life for each of us and for the ones that are around. Take care.